Who made the top 24 on American Idol 2025? Hollywood Week came to an end during Monday's April 7 episode of American Idol, but it was the most grueling day yet for the remaining artists. With 4 singers, Canaan James Hill, Zaylie Windsor, Mattie Pruitt, and Gabby Samone, already in the top 24, there were 20 spots left to fill and 42 contestants trying to snag one. Immediately after finding out that they made it through the showstopper round, the 42 singers were told that the next round had begun. They were tasked with picking a duet partner for the first ever head-to-head round. The pairs had just one night to prepare a performance with help from artist-in-residence Jelly Roll. Everybody was in danger of going home at this point, as both partners could move on, one could move on, or both could be eliminated. Judges Carrie Underwood, Luke Bryan, and Lionel Richie made the decisions for the last time. The vote will be in America's hands going forward. Scroll down for a recap of the night's performances and to find out who's headed to the top 24. Thunderstorm artist and Drew Wren. The night began with Thunderstorm artist and Drew Wren singing "The Night We Met" by Lord Huron. It was quite a start, as the judges gave them a standing ovation and raved over the performance. Perfect song, perfect voice pairing, everything about it was just. You could not have done that any better, Underwood gushed. Richie called the performance mesmerizing, and both singers advanced to the top 24. Sunonny and Sheay. Sunonny and Sheay had already developed a close friendship throughout the competition after bonding over both being from the UK. They performed "Shallow" by Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper, and Sunny's nerves admittedly began to kick in on the morning of the show. "Sheay, you looked cool as a cucumber the whole time." "Sunny, you looked so unsure," Underwood noted. "That's the first time I've seen that from you in this entire thing." While the judges privately discussed things, Bryson said that Sheay had one of the best voices he'd heard. "Both of you guys were on a collision course from day one," he eventually told the singers. "Our 2 guys from across the pond. As judges, we just arrived at who we felt had the better day. Sheay, you've had the better day today." Sheay was selected for the top 24, but Sunny was not. Grayson and Penny Summer. Grayson and Penny Summer both sang the same song in the Idol Arena round, so they knew they were on the same page. This time they chose "Wildflower" by Billie Eilish to perform. Although Grayson was struggling with her confidence a bit, they earned a standing ovation. Truthfully, that was a perfect performance. "Pretty darn special," Richie said. Underwood told the ladies, "You were holding onto your artistry in a duet, but neither one of you were running over the other one. Really wonderful." Bryson noted how the ladies complimented each other, and it was revealed that they were both in the top 24. Keelen and Josh King. Keelen and Josh King sang Stephen Sanchez's "Until I Found You." But Josh struggled with learning the words a bit, causing him to lose some confidence before hitting the stage. Bryson and Richie were on their feet cheering for the performance, though. "You guys get better and better every time we see you, and that's what it takes," Bryson gushed. During the judges' private conversation, Underwood reminded everyone of how they had to tell Josh to dial back his audition performance because it sounded like dinner music. "Now, he's like coming into his own," she pointed out. In the end, it was enough to move Josh through. Both he and Keelen found themselves in the top 24. Amanda Beres and Victor Solomon. Amanda Beres and Victor Solomon decided to sing "Lady Marmalade," but the vocal coach quickly noticed that their voices were in very different places. Victor admitted that his voice was feeling tired, and he went on vocal rest, so he would be ready the next day. It paid off as the judges gave the duo a standing ovation. Amazing song choice, amazing performance, and I'm so proud of both of you, Underwood assured the contestants. They were both chosen to move on to the top 24. Kiana and Yanni. Kiana and Yanni sang Sabrina Carpenter's "Please, Please, Please," and the performance wasn't enough for both of them to move on. "Yanni, we agonize over your talent, but we have to cut when we have to cut," Richie revealed. "You will not be going through to the next round." "Kiana, you're amazing. You are going through to the next round." Bryson Quick and Lexi Tiefel. Bryson Quick and Lexi Tiefel were both eliminated after their head-to-head duet, with Brian admitting, "This is the first time you all have looked 17. Nina Day and Slater Nally. Nina Day and Slater Nally chose I Remember Everything by Zach Bryan and Casey Musgraves for their duet. Nina was tired and emotionally drained and started to forget the lyrics as time went on. However, when it came to Slater, the judges were thrilled with what he did. "You seem to be getting more and more comfortable," Underwood noted. "You have a great voice. It kind of cuts through the air. I feel like you could go far in this competition." Slater wound up earning one of the top 24 spots, while Mount was sent home. Bailey Littrell and Keelen. Bailey Littrell and Keelen also chose Shallow by Gada and Cooper. They worked through the night after changing the arrangement because Bailey started forgetting some lyrics. However, a vocal coach then urged them to change the arrangement again because she felt Keelen was carrying the song. Once they got on stage, the performance was a success. "When you guys were coming up here, I said, 'This is interesting. She could bury him.' That did not happen," Underwood admitted. "Bailey, you are more comfortable singing with somebody else. It's kind of like we got to see a different side of you." Meanwhile, Richie said that Keelen may have been a bit too powerful, while Brian said the intensity of some of her notes was a little much. In the end, Bailey made the top 24 and Keelen did not. However, Underwood made sure to let him know that it was not a unanimous decision and warned Bailey that he had to step it up moving forward. John Foster and Clara Ray. John Foster and Clara Ray duetted on Until I Found You by Stephen Sanchez. John was selected for the top 24, while Clara was eliminated. "This is the end of the road for you, here," Brian told her. "Thank you, but please don't let this be the end of the road for you." Philo and Colby Jordan. With Canaan already in the top 24, Philo and Colby Jordan were the last two platinum ticket holders left looking for spots. They sang Bruno Mars and Lady Gaga's Die with a Smile and were warned during rehearsals that they overrun sometimes. Underwood called Philo and Colby's voices superhuman and praised them for dialing it back instead of having too much going on like she feared. Philo and Colby were chosen for the top 24, which meant that all platinum ticket holders made it. Isaiah Misalegalu and Crystal Molina. This round was a bit of a struggle for Isaiah Misalegalu, as he didn't know many of the songs that the pairs had to choose from. They wound up going with a shallow duet, and Richie admitted that he wanted to see more identity between their voices. Underwood told Isaiah that this was not his finest performance, and said she could see on his face that he wasn't happy. "If that happens in the future, just be like, I'm just gonna roll with it, and don't let it define the rest of the performance," she explained. In the end, the judges decided to eliminate Crystal, as they worried she could get overshadowed as the competition went on. "I would love to see you in a couple years, and I feel like you're going to be unstoppable," Underwood promised. Isaiah was given the chance to move on thanks to how much he gave in his previous performances. Callie Morris and Olivia Bergeron. After singing Radioactive by Imagine Dragons, Olivia Bergeron was chosen for the top 24, but Callie Morris was eliminated. Underwood called it a tough decision. Cameron Smith and Cruz Wright. Unfortunately, Cameron Smith and Cruz Wright were both eliminated after their performance of How Great Thou Art. As Brian explained, "I'll compliment each other well, but it could have been a lot better too. I'm sorry to say we don't feel like you guys are ready to go into our top 24, but you got a heck of a foundation to build on." Desmond Roberts and Jamal Roberts. After spending 2 hours working on one song, Jamal Roberts and Desmond Roberts switched their choice to The Door by Teddy Swims after a suggestion from one of the coaches. Neither had heard it before, but they spent the night working on it so they'd be ready to deliver. It paid off. "Both of you have done some really spectacular things throughout this competition," Underwood said. "We know you got the goods. Don't just rely on the runs." They both ended up earning spots in the top 24. Brianna Nix and Riley O'Neill. Brianna Nix and Riley O'Neill took the stage for the final performance of the day. with only one spot left in the top 24. They sang Gratitude by Brandon Lake and dedicated the performance to their kids. Underwood told the ladies she was proud of both of them, but revealed that Brianna would be getting the final spot in the top 24, which meant that Riley was eliminated. Who is in the top 24? The official list of singers in the top 24 is Canaan James Hill, Zaylie Windsor, Gabby Samone, Mattie Pruitt, Drew Wren, Thunderstorm artists, Sheay, Grayson Torrance, Penny Samar, M.K. Lai, Josh King, Amanda Baraz, Victor Solomon, Kiana Fenning, Slater Nally, Bailey Littrell, John Foster, Philo, Colby Jordan, Asaya Misayalagalu, Olivier Bergeron, Desmond Roberts, Jamal Roberts, Brianna Nix.